Okay, so we are at the other side of the final. World Cup is done and dusted, and final is done also. And it all worked out how you would have thought it would. The number one team in the world won the World Cup. That's it. Uneventful result. Oh my God. So we're going to get, I mean, think about this. I'm getting goosebumps. So this final was between India and New Zealand. I mean, again, right, last time, Jatan, you and I, we had talked about semi-final, India-England semi-final, cool. India-New Zealand final, don't know if you would have predicted that, but then
No.
India's had some really bad record against New Zealand, especially in World Cup
Yeah.
matches. And that
Yeah.
was a bit of a, if you see, especially for this current Indian T20 team, if you see like 0-3 head to head with the team, and you're like, wait, what's
Is
wrong
that
with
even
the
true? Yeah. With the current team, right? With the current team that India has, all of those records just go out of the window, right? Sure, New Zealand is 3-0 against India in World Cups. Sure, no other team has won back-to-back World Cups. Sure, no team has won the World Cup in their own backyard. Sure, you can call all of that in a scenario where you have a set of teams which are equal enough, which have competed well enough, and etc. Right? But
Yeah,
now that you start looking at this team, right? Sure, it actually lost to South Africa, and we were kind of writing obituaries to a certain extent. But if you think about it, right, this team, what it has done since the last World Cup, winning what there's some crazy number 6 out of 7 games they have played, right? So it's like what crazy 80-85% of win record. Um, this team has taken it to the next level, and that is why when this team did all those three things, beat New Zealand after being 3-0 down in the sense overall, won back to the second time in a row the World Cup, and won it in their own backyard. That was probably the easier part. Of course, there was always a lot of pressure, and Surya
yeah.
Kumar Yadav kept talking about that.
Hmm.
So it at the end of it, right? If you look at it not as a fan, not as a somebody who has stake in the team, right? Emotionally, at least. If you look at it from, if you look at it very coldly or yeah, very objectively, right? With a cold stare, you would say that probably all of those records were bound to go out of the window, right? And that's what exactly happened. So as you said, it's whatever was predicted, whatever was expected happened. So from that perspective, it was a very uneventful World Cup. No major upsets as such. Sure, New Zealand beat South Africa in the semi-finals, but New Zealand is New Zealand, right? They do that. The only big upset was Zimbabwe beating Australia, if at all. Otherwise,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm with you, but what I'm struggling with is, see, in order for a team to actually win a tournament, right? A lot of things have to fall in place at the right time. Maybe the biggest thing though is the belief. If for team to have the skills, for sure,
Yeah.
but then have the belief and like focus that our goal is to win the World Cup. Our focus is to win the World Cup, and
Yeah.
maybe Jatan, you always mention due. Maybe the due didn't either take any much part, or we did over. India did over and above to
Yeah.
make sure. Right, that has been your point about,
I
hey,
think that's what they did, right? And
control what you can control.
yeah, and that's what happened. That's what I was saying in kind of the preview or before the match, right? I was saying obviously that the team which wins the toss wins, right?
Sure.
If both play equally, kind of, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
what India did and what South Africa couldn't do in the
yeah.
semi-final is take that thing out of the picture. Take it out. Just score so many runs in the first innings that due or not due, it's hard for the batting team to batting second to score that. And when it's a semi-final or a final, you have that extra pressure, right? So utilize that. Utilize the the fact that you lost the toss, utilize that. So usually, even in older days, right? You always the point was win the toss, bat first,
Yeah,
put a score, and try to win, right? And that's what has happened. India in 1983 also. Kapil Dev's famous words, right? We have made these runs. Now let them make those, right? You have something on the board. So the only drawback, and that's why probably New Zealand also won the toss and bowled first, was because of the dew. Believe it or not, everybody's worried about it. But what India did was just threw all of that again out of the window, right? You just score 250 plus, even if there is dew, right? You have enough runs to make a match of it, and that's what they did. Had they scored 175, it could have been a different game, right? Or
definitely.
even say a 200. 250 is a bridge too far when you start batting. The same way 350 or 360 was a bridge too far when India played Australia in that World Cup final, right? It's just too hard. And
2000.
that too in a final. Yeah, and that too in a final. That too against probably the best team in the format, which Australia was when India was chasing at
Correct.
that point, right? So,
That's such a
yeah.
good point. They totally batted us, quote unquote, us.
Out.
Australia
Yeah.
totally batted us out in that
Yeah.
2003 World Cup final.
Yeah.
And I mean, funnily, Jadan, India in both those matches, I feel very strongly, not only overcame the due factor possibly, also their own weakness in bowling. I mean, genuinely,
Yeah.
we have been saying India has a sixth bowler problem. We possibly right now have a fifth bowler problem.
That's what we talked about it last time, right? We have a
Yeah,
fifth bowler problem, and we did have that problem.
correct.
But then you have somebody like Bumrah, right, who
Yeah,
makes it like he bowls for two people, right? 4 overs, what, 14 for
15
four,
runs.
15
4 overs,
for
15
four.
runs, 4 wickets.
Yeah.
That's
So
ridiculous in a
it's
match
ridiculous. So
where we scored 250.
250, yeah. So even if you, so he has 20 runs more to play with. So if Varun has a bad day and he is supposed to give 30, and if he gives 50, that's still okay,
Yeah,
because that's still not enough, right? And basically what India did to New Zealand is what exactly Australia did to India. India is right now the best T20 team in the world. Australia was the best ODI team at that point.
yeah,
I don't remember who won the toss or whatever, but you would think that chasing with the due factor available is in your benefit. But when you just bat the other team out of the game, scoring 250 plus in a final, right, of T20, the way Australia did, they just batted you out. Ponting just destroyed you. What Samson did this time, right?
yeah,
It's very hard then to come back. Sure, we had Sachin Tendulkar in the team, but yeah, it's exactly the same thing that happened, right?
correct. And
It's
then you have
exactly
to
the
go
same
bang
thing.
bang in right up front. And
Yeah,
then if you keep going, all power to you, but it's not easy to keep going
not easy
with
for that
with
long.
that pressure. And every run matters then, right? Because when you're batting first, and slight tangent here, but when you're batting first, instead of 250, if you end up making 247, it's fine. But when you're chasing, you got to make 248 to win. You can't
Yeah,
say I made 245. No, no, then you lose by two runs. I mean, I'm stating
correct.
the obvious here,
Yeah,
but because you know the target, you better make that target and beat it by 1 run. Just
you don't have a second chance.
you
You
don't.
bowl and you make 240, and you have a second chance of bowling the team out in 240. But if you have to make 250 as chasing, you don't have a second option. I mean, you just have to do that. So I think it's just
Yeah,
history repeating itself in a way which is now India's on the right side of it, right? It's been on the wrong side of it for too long against Australia. I still think that over the years, India has probably been the team which has challenged Australia, whether it's ODI or Test matches or
yep,
whatever, right? The most,
yep.
probably the second team, even in the 2023 final, right? Um, we couldn't do that because
You
maybe
couldn't bat them
Australia
out.
didn't let us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't let us. So this time we fixed that, right? And
Okay, by the
yeah,
way,
more power to the team.
definitely. And we talk a lot about Jasprit Bumrah. I mean, everybody is. He just, I mean, no, no, you cannot have enough superlative words for that individual. He's just unbelievable. So is Samson. What a World Cup for someone like Sanju Samson. But then one
Yeah,
other player I
fairy
want to
tale.
mention is Akshar, right?
Akshar. Yeah,
Is
exactly.
Akshar, he has, I mean, it's, again, he's a vice captain. I know we talked upfront about
I
he
know
being the
a
vice
lot
captain.
of things, a lot of words I'm eating, but why not?
No, no, but I think your point was if he's, I think it is more about Kuldeep, the impact on
Yeah.
Kuldeep if Akshar is,
Kuldeep as well as Sundar, right? So pretty much
yeah,
Sundar is kind of not needed. But yeah, I mean, definitely Akshar is the quality that he's shown in the last 3 4 years, right? Um, he the thing with Akshar is when you started seeing him, right? He was more of a bowler, right? In the
yeah,
shadow of Jadeja, right?
yeah,
Not as good as Jadeja in bowling those left arm slow, right? Orthodox. And batting, obviously, he was not known for it. The way the guy has redefined himself over the past few years, right? It's just ridiculous. And if you've watched him enough, you would still think that, oh, it's probably the old Aksar because we remember him the way he was. He was still good, but
yeah,
not what he is right now. Right? He's like a stud now.
yeah,
He can bowl. Obviously, he can bat. He can take the important wickets. He took 3 wickets. I thought, actually, frankly, I thought he should have been the man of the match, but we'll come to that. And he can field the way he's fielding, the catches he's taking, right?
You
So
would
he
remember
has
last time
just
I mentioned about this catch he took in the last World
yeah,
Cup,
yeah. It was
India Australia match. I mean, that
Australia match.
catch
Yeah,
was unbelievable.
crazy. Yeah, that he gave you a glimpse of that. He's never known for his fielding. He's never really known for his big hitting, but he has become that way. He's reinvented. And if a player does that, right, he starts at one point and he comes to a point where he is right now. Sure, he's the vice captain, great, and he played all games. I'm
Yeah,
more than happy about that.
definitely. I mean, obviously, in that match, just to recap a little bit, there was a period of time you thought New Zealand was coming back, but then it's interesting, right? It's a momentum thing. Yeah, when
Yeah.
they were coming back, India had already scored 200, but at some
Right.
point, India was threatening to score like 280 or like 300. But
Yeah.
that's not easy
Mm.
because you need sustained hitting, which they were able to. I mean, at some point, I think somebody messaged me and saying, "Is there a mercy rule?" Just in little leagues, sometimes you have a mercy rule, especially in
Yeah.
baseball, where if one team just keeps scoring a lot of runs, you just say, "Okay, mercy call," or just resigning in chess. But you don't
Yeah.
do that in cricket for a reason. It's because one over can change thing on
One
its
over,
head.
and it did, right?
Yeah,
Wickets, taking wickets is replaces the mercy thing, right? Because in baseball, a wicket or an out is not that important, right? I
yeah,
mean, it's much easier to get, but in a cricket, so we should discuss similarities and differences between baseball and cricket at some point. But
yeah,
yeah, it's just getting a wicket, right, changes the complexion of the game, and that's what kind of happened in Nisham's over. He
yeah.
took 3 wickets, rather 3 catches. um, so
Yeah, and,
um,
and one, there were a couple of close calls after that. So that's how it goes, right? And definitely, my favorite Dubey, Shivam Dubey, did play actually a good knock again
oh
as
yeah,
a batter,
he
definitely.
was the difference between 235 and 255
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure,
So,
right?
really good, cool, calculated hitting. I in the past I have called him hammer Hathoda player, but he has hit some really nice clutch boundaries and sixes. So, that's how
Mm.
India got to 250
Yeah,
plus. And
it's the team, right? It's interesting. Sanju Samson was nowhere, in and out of the team. He established himself. Ishan Kishan is what probably was your original.
Kishan.
That
Sorry.
was your original Ishan, was your original Hathoda player. He was
Correct.
probably a
Yep.
very one-dimensional player. He has reinvented himself.
Yep.
Hardik Pandya is being Hardik Pandya. Surya Kumar Yadav, sure, his batting probably is not. He's not in the same form, but he's held the team together, right? Tilak Verma has improved leaps and bounds.
And Prime
You
TV
see,
baby.
and Shivam Dubey, right, along with Akshar and
Yep.
Ashdeep to a large extent, right? Varun was probably not in form, but he did enough, took a lot of wickets, and Jasprit Bumrah being Bumrah, right? So if you see, right, all of these players 2 3 years back were, I mean, if you had this team 3 years back, you probably wouldn't go far. But all of them have improved themselves and got themselves to this point where, they each one of them has improved and become a force in itself, and the combined force was like 2 plus, like do or do 11, right? 2 plus 2 is 11. It's what happened
Yeah,
here.
a good one, actually. So what's interesting is, as long as you don't collectively fail, You
Yeah.
need someone, some people to pick the other people up because somebody is going
Right.
to fail. In a match, you don't have string of failures in one match, which is what
Yeah.
happened for India against South Africa,
South Africa.
right?
Yeah.
String of failures. Here,
Yeah.
if somebody is not doing well, somebody else steps up. A little bit of luck for sure.
That's right.
Luck
And
favors
with
them.
the quality, top to bottom, right?
Yeah,
Everybody failing. I mean, it's interesting. You have the culture in the team is go bang bang, right? In
yeah,
T20, right? And that's what they do. So there is always a chance that the entire team might fail. Always, right? There's always a chance, and it happened here. So you just want to hope that that doesn't happen in one of the semis or the finals. And you also the other part of it is that it's not going to happen very often because of the quality in the team. So it might happen once in a while, once in 10 matches maybe, right? And that's what kind of the win loss record is right now, right? One loss in 7 to 8 matches. So yeah, this team is something. Yeah.
yeah. And Jatan, during our conversations, you have coined a lot of frames, not frames. You have coined a lot of phrases. You have called the Indian team the flat track bullies. I mean, I can see where it is coming from. At the same time, just again, I want to go back to an intangible thing that's hard to see physically is belief. This team believes. I mean, maybe it's this borderline's a bit ridiculous. What I'm going to say is when Dubé dropped the catch of, I think,
Yeah.
an Allen,
Yeah.
right? Surya actually kind of went and patted him on his back, and I'm like,
I
that's
saw that.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm like, come
Yeah.
on, you're going too far. But no, no, that's the culture. Hey, we got you. We have your
Yeah.
back.
Because dropped catch, right? I don't think I'll do that for somebody who bowls a no ball, but somebody who's dropping a catch is not doing it deliberately. So yeah, you
No,
just want to
fair,
pick him up because the next ball might come to him again, right?
correct. I
And you
mean,
don't
I
want.
had off to
Yeah.
Surya. Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
hats off. And that's what Surya brings apart from his 360 hitting, right? Which is not very which happening right now, but that's what probably also he brings to the team, and that's why he's still the captain.
Yeah, I mean, in all those teams that have won championships, captains have played a big
Yeah,
part,
you
right?
have great
And
captains, right?
Dhoni,
Whether
Kapil
it's Dhoni,
Dev,
whether it's Cummins,
yeah,
whoever, right? Yeah.
totally. Rohit when we
Hmm.
won. So, I mean, we'll definitely do. Siddharth can join us today. We'll do another just overall World Cup wrap up. A lot of fun things to think about. One of them, obviously, our homework is to come up with the associates team 11. So, right, because I just saw, I think on Cricket 4 somewhere, the World Cup 11,
Yeah.
what it would be. I want to definitely us to come up with the associates team
Yeah, yeah, we should
11.
definitely do that
Because
in the
what's
next one.
interesting, Jatan, is in that reserve for that team were Van Schalkwyk.
Yeah.
In that there was
Samra, the top scorer,
yep, the Raza was in there,
of
right?
course.
So I think a lot of it'll be interesting to see what the associates team's 11 would be and
Yep.
how they stack up against the monster 11
Yep.
from the rest.
I wouldn't mind watching that game, India
Yeah,
versus actually the winner versus the Associates 11. Why not?
yeah, and again, we are doing this just Jatan and I because we were kind of still recovering from the win over the weekend and some other celebrations that are going on. We just wanted to have this conversation because that's what Cow Corner is about, right?
Yep.
Started with Jatan and I saying, "Hey, we need to uh, formalize our conversation," and we definitely miss Siddharth right now, but we'll get him in our formal recap of the World Cup.
Right. Yep.
Cool. Anything else, other than saying it's Bumrah or bust? I mean, if you have Bumrah, you are generally in the game all the time. Um, Amazing run by Sanju Samson, Akshar Patel. Just this team actually came in as a favorite to win the World Cup, right? Imagine that. Anything short of that would have been an absolute letdown.
Yep.
At home, yeah, there is home advantage, but there isn't a pressure like playing at home either, right? To
Yep.
deliver. And
Yep.
this Indian team did that, which is all credit to team management as
Yeah.
well.
So my couple of thoughts here, right?
Yeah,
I personally am not a big fan of T20 cricket in general, right? My favorite format is obviously Test matches, and you would have heard me talk about our series with South Africa and all of that, right? India was South Africa. I think what this tournament and the fact that we have started Cow Corner has done is that it's kind of ignited that excitement in me to watch T20,
nice.
to follow it, right? I don't know if I'll follow the IPL a lot, but I will try to because we're going to probably talk about it. But
Mm.
it's very nice to feel that love for the shorter format. Still, the longer format is what I live on. But yeah, good to know that we have looked deep into this format, the way the team
Yeah,
worked to get to where it did, and frankly, in the Team India is what the team Australia was in the 90s and 2000s.
oh
That's
dear.
the level that they have
Yeah,
in
yeah,
T20s.
for sure. I mean, what's interesting is I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but it's almost like T20 format has matured.
Oh yeah,
Meaning it was it was like this exciting thing where people are trying to figure out what that format looks like and should be or
yeah,
can be, right?
yeah.
You would think, oh, in 20 overs, what can change? No,
Mm.
you actually have a lot of ups and downs, even in 20 overs, which
And
is,
yeah,
pretty very interesting. So I feel this format has matured. The
right,
players have figured out how to make impact in different ways. These
right,
little things you could do, right? Nuances of the game, right?
yeah,
That's what made even Test cricket makes it interesting,
yeah.
even more so. That's what I feel.
Yeah, and this team has is stretching the limits, frankly, right? The way the team is playing right now, it's actually stretching the limits of what T20 is, and that's exciting to see.
Yeah,
The good thing is that it's India which we support wholeheartedly. But even when Australia was doing their thing of winning 16 Test matches in a row, right? They were
yeah,
stretching the limits of what you could do in Test matches, and
definitely. Yeah,
India is doing that same in T20 in a format which is the newest, right? So they are creating blueprints which other teams will start following.
definitely. And one of the topics we want to pick up, and maybe you will have guests coming up, are discuss how to open more things for associate teams. And T20 actually gives more
Yeah,
opportunities.
yeah,
It level sets the field a bit, creates more opportunities, and again, a lot of nuances. It's no longer
right.
just, hey, it's a 20-minute just swing your bat type
Yeah,
of game. So
yeah,
very, very, it's fun. I agree with you. I mean, club cricket is also fun, very different, but the T20I is, yeah, I think come of age, if I can say that.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So,
Very true.
cool. Awesome.
All right.
We can wrap up this episode of Cow Corner. We'll be back again with Siddharth to, look at holistically at the T20 World Cup. So until then, ciao.
All right.
Peace
Take care.
out.
Bye bye.
Bye.
This episode was produced by Mukta Phatak, music by Joe Reynolds.